Hello, learners. Welcome back. We're here at Blue Ridge Literacy to talk with our banking friend, Steve.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing today, Steve?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Doing okay. We have nice weather.
That's a little hot for me, but if you think this is nice, I'll agree with you. So what are we going to talk about with banking today, Steve?
Well, today we're going to talk about saving for a rainy day. Are you familiar
So
with what that means?
I know what that means, but we might want to talk to our learners about what that means. Rainy day has two meanings. The first meaning would be any day where lots of rain falls from the sky. That's a rainy day. But I think when Steve talks about banking, what he means is we're saving money for a time when we're going to need it. It's just an idiom, it's an expression. When you save for a rainy day, you're putting money back for when you need money later and don't have any income. Would you say that's correct, Steve?
That's a good way to think about it. It could be when you don't have any income. It could be if you're just saving for just having an extra, some money for before you even retire, before you don't have income. Maybe if your car breaks down and you need to have some new tires. It
That's a
could be
rainy
it could
day.
be any emergency, basically, is
All
sort
right.
of the idea that I look at it as.
So in this case, a rainy day is just a bad day where we need extra money.
Yeah.
All right. And how do you recommend we go about saving?
Well, a lot of times the best way to do it is just doing it a little bit at a time, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. It adds up over time, and all of a sudden you've got a bunch of money saved up. So one way that you can do that is to sort of look at what your monthly budget is. How much money do you have left at the end of the month? And you can sort of decide, okay, I've got $20, or I've got $50, or I've got $30, whatever amount would be best for your budget. You can kind of set that money aside and then just sort of do it systematically. That's the idea, is that you're not necessarily having to do one big savings. You're doing a little bit every month.
That makes a lot of sense. A little bit, a little bit. And with a bank or with investments, we can sometimes get interest. And that's the
Hmm.
person who, if we let them hold our money, gives us extra money over time.
Correct.
All right. And we've got a Security and Exchange Commission website we're going to look at here, right?
Sure.
All
Yep.
right. I'd like you to talk us through it while we go through this screen, and we'll try and include the link for everyone to see.
All right. So yeah, at the top, you've got the initial investment, which is going to be $100. So that's what you're putting aside for that first month. And then the next month, and then months after that, you can set aside, in our example, you're setting aside $50. Now that number can change, and you can look at that website that up at the top. There's an address bar. If you look at the address bar and you want to go do it on your own, you can do this exact math and use this exact website. So depending on whatever number you'd like to use, it lets you sort of customize it to your needs. But we're going to use $50.
All
So
right.
for in our example, we're going to put $50 aside for 30 years. And if you're looking at sometimes like things like what are called CDs or time deposits, sometimes savings accounts, but generally that's where you're going to be looking at some of these rates of, maybe around 2% or a little higher than that. um, you can kind of look at setting that money aside. One way that you can use a CD or a time deposit account is you're getting that money built up over each year, and then you can kind of put that money into a CD, and then the next year you put that money into the CD, and you can just kind of keep adding it up as the time comes. So you'll keep it into your savings account, but then when you need it, you can, get access to it if you need to.
And then we,
But yeah, for the example here, if we're looking at that time deposit account range, then you're looking around about $24,521 if you do that for 30 years.
and what if we right? And what if we took a little more risk?
So the other option is that sort of like we talked about last week. This is this with the CD that we talked about. That's FDIC insured. That's money that's protected in case the bank were to ever have a problem or whatnot. Your money is protected. If you're looking at something where you're looking at investments, for instance, if you feel like you've got a little bit more of a time horizon that you can set that money aside for, then you can kind of change that number. And generally, a number approximately where the stock market or investments are going to be is, somewhere between maybe say 4 to 8%, somewhere in that range.
Well,
So if you want to bring up that graphic, yeah.
let's go back to that screen and put in a 4 to 8 range. Instead of 2% here, I'm going to put in 6% since it's between 4 and 8. And if we still do $50 a month, we originally had 24,000. Wow.
So
So
yeah,
with,
and so that'll actually double what you'd earn back. Now again, that is subject to the markets, so it's not a guaranteed number, and I want to make sure everybody understands that. But it is something where over time, putting money into the stock market or investing in the stock market generally will earn you more money than having it into a CD or something like that, if you've got the time to do it.
so you've got time, even if you have young children, to start putting back money to start them off well.
That's a perfect example. If you have a baby that's or a little person, if you start putting that money aside, maybe that gives you that first year or two of college.
And it doesn't have to remain at $50. As you earn more money, you can save more every month. Yes?
Correct. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I really appreciate you dropping by to talk to us about rainy day fund, Steve.
Oh, no problem.
All right. We'll look forward to talking to you next week about banking one more time, okay?
All right. Sounds good. Hopefully we'll get lots of rainy days, the rainy day kind, and your garden will do well.
I'd like it if my garden would do even better. Hey, thanks for the wishing me luck with the garden, and you have a real good day. Tell everyone at
All
Wells
right.
Fargo we said hi.
I sure will. Thank you.
Bye-bye.